Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It is James here from Garage Gym Fitness, and welcome back to another live session with me here in the Garage Gym. And so I'm on my own tonight. I haven't got Hattie, my buddy, with me. We did a session earlier on today, and I think I probably killed her, so she's going to take a little break this evening. So it's just me and you guys. Another little announcement is I've managed to break my camera, so I'm working off my laptop camera this evening. So hopefully that all works for you. You can see me okay, and hopefully my ears and mic are connected so you can also hear me talking. Okay, so yeah, sorry, camera, see me okay is what I should have said. Okay, so tonight we're just going to do a beginner workout with resistance bands. What I wanted to do was just walk you through the exercises that we normally do in the live sessions. It's a bit mad, it's a bit chaotic. We do it to a timer, and it can be a bit sort of quick. And one thing I've seen with people visiting my channel over the last sort of couple of weeks is that sorry, technical director, give me the thumbs up there. So yeah, so basically that I've seen a lot of beginners coming into the channel, or certainly a lot of beginners to resistance bands. And obviously with the current climate, with the COVID coronavirus situation, obviously a lot of gyms are closed. So people are looking for alternatives. So obviously YouTube is awash with workout at home type style workouts. Not so many with bands, I've noticed. So I just wanted to go through tonight, show you a sort of complete full body workout using resistance bands, but I wanted to talk you through the workout a little bit more simply and a little bit more structured so that we make sure that we're doing everything properly and correctly. So to be honest, using the bands is a good starting point as well if you wanted to progress onto weights a little bit later on. So obviously when gyms start to open up again, using bands and perfecting proper technique using them will help you when you get back into the weight situation. Okay, also obviously it'll keep you in shape, it'll help you tone up, it will build your muscles slightly more gently than using weights. Good evening, FitStem, how you doing? Already thumbs up. Thanks very much. I haven't even started yet. Okay, so typically what I tend to use, I'm going to crack on because obviously your time is very important and I'm conscious of that. So what I'm going to do is do a run through quickly of the bands. We're going to do a quick run through. It's going to be literally one sort of run through of all the exercises that I think are useful to you in getting started with using bands. There are variations, but these are, I would say, the fundamentals. Okay, so we've got a green band, which is the heaviest within the pack that I buy. We then have a purple one, which is sort of slightly heavy, but not as bad. Black, which is medium intensity. Red, you're kind of getting to kind of medium light. And then the yellow is the lightest, okay? Now, there's a whole variant of colors. There's lots of other bands as well. There's over here, I don't know if you can see these, but we've got a blue and an orange one. No, you can't see them. Okay, they're super thick. I mean, they're ridiculous. Okay, I said to Hattie today that I would show you. We decided to buy some ludicrously big bands to do deadlifts with, and I've got to say they are ludicrous. I couldn't actually do one with the orange because it was just too tough. And the blue one was good, but totally mad. I'll give you the weight if I can find it. Hang on a minute. Yeah, it's 175 pounds. So what's that? About 80 kilos, 90 kilos, something like that in a deadlift, which is probably about my max, to be fair. And that's like a 1 rep max. Probably pretty pathetic to all you bodybuilders out there, but anyway. Okay, good. So the first exercise we're going to do is going to be a shoulder exercise. And I call it an overhead press. I think most people would probably call it the same thing. And what we're typically going to do is put both feet in the band. We're going to stand up straight, grab hold of the band from above, and then lift it up to your shoulders. Now, what I want you to imagine is that you're holding a barbell. So normally in a gym, you'd have a bar and you'd put weights on it. You'd stand in a rack, and then you kind of step back from the rack and you'd push the bar up above your head and back down again. Okay, so we're just going to do 10 of those. That's it, good. And I'll just show you from the side. So making sure your core is engaged, pelvis is kind of pushed forward, back is nice and straight, shoulders are straight and back. And then we're just driving up with the shoulders. Obviously, you just need to dip your head back as you do that so you don't clonk yourself on the nose with the band, okay? So that's the first one. That's the overhead press. Fairly straightforward. And keep the hands about shoulder width apart. I see some people sort of coming in here and trying to push up from there or going out a little bit too wide, sort of out here somewhere, okay, which obviously puts an almost enormous amount of strain on your shoulders. You can do that, I guess, if you wanted that kind of workout. Okay, side raises, otherwise known as lateral raises. We're going to put one foot in the band, and then the opposite hand we're going to pull out to the side. So if you imagine you're in the gym and you've got a set of dumbbells, you'd possibly be doing this at the same time. So you would do 2 dumbbells together. You're only going to come up to kind of shoulder height and back down again. Now doing it with the yellow band, what you'll find is there's not really too much tension until you get to about here. Obviously, if you've got a dumbbell, it's heavy from the minute you start. So to mimic the dumbbell weight, just hold the band a little bit further down so you've got a little bit of flex on the end of it. It just creates a bit more resistance, and then just pull up. Similarly, if that's still too easy, grab hold of a bigger band. So go to the red band or even a black. Okay, obviously I'm just demonstrating today because I wanted to show you the different ones. Okay, so if you've only got a couple of bands, maybe you could double them up. So that, say for example, with the red and the yellow, when you're doing, if the red is too easy when you're doing an overhead press, add the yellow one to it, and it obviously creates more resistance. Okay, and then we're going to swap to the other side. Grab the band with a little bit of flex and come up to shoulder height and do the exact same thing. So obviously keeping the core still nice and tight, keeping the body nice and straight, so you don't want to be bending with the back, so you don't want to turn it into like a body movement. It's very much a shoulder exercise. Okay, so that's the lateral raise. Well done. Okay, front raise. I like to combine this one, so I do a front raise and a pull apart. So in order to be able to do that, what you want to do is allow yourself a little bit of extra flex on the front of the band. I don't know if you can see that. So that as we come up, we're going to lift the band up about shoulder height, and then we're going to pull it apart. Okay, and then come back down. So up, pull apart, and back down. So we're really opening up the chest. We're working into the back muscles as well, so into the traps where your shoulder blades kind of meet. And then obviously by doing that, we're really contracting the shoulder blades, and then back down again, keeping the arms straight throughout the movement. So straight up, shoulder height, pulling it apart, and back down again. Okay, good. All right, and then the final one, actually I'm going to stay with this one. By the way, if that's not too difficult, doing it with 1 foot in the band, simplest thing to do is make the band shorter by putting 2 feet in the band. And then obviously with your flex, pull it up and across, and that makes it 10 times harder. Okay. So the next one we're going to do is an upward row. I would typically use probably a slightly thicker band for this one because it's a small movement, but it's impressive and quite intense. So this is obviously going to affect the tops of the shoulders, and then we're just going to bring the hands up to the armpits and back down again. Keep it all nicely under control. Don't let the band sort of snap you back down. Hold that resistance, time under tension. Okay, and then back. Good stuff. Up and back down again. Okay, so that's quite an easy one. Again, you know, if it's a simple, easy band rather, or it's too easy for you, just go up a band to a different color, go to a black or a purple, or add another band to the one that you're using, or slide your hands down a little bit so that obviously you're holding the band further or nearer to your feet. Okay, so that's the shoulder part done. We're now going to move into back and arms, okay? So, classic bent over row. Again, if you're in the gym, you'd be bending down, picking up a barbell, and then standing up, getting yourself into position, knees slightly soft, and then we're going to pull the bar up to our middle. So we're going to mimic that with a band. I'm going to use the black one. It's quite tough, the black one, for this exercise. So we're going to put both feet on the band. The band is doubled up under my feet. Again, getting yourself into that position. So we're going to be soft in the knees, not directly straight. Keeping the back nice and flat, shoulders pulled back, and then we're just going to pull the hands up to the armpits. Keeping the elbows tucked in. That's it, very good. Good stuff, okay. So as I say, don't straighten the knees and don't arch the back. So back flat, bum sticking out a little bit, knees slightly soft, pulling up and back again. Okay, that is the bent over row. Okay, bicep curl. There's a couple of ways of doing this one. I'm just going to show you with the yellow one just because of simplicity, because it's easy for me obviously to do that. But you need to find what works for you. I'm going to take my feet fairly far apart because obviously that shortens the band, makes it a little bit more difficult. So what we're going to do is a conventional bicep curl where you just bring the hands up, keeping the elbows into the hips. Try not to do this, don't try and bring the elbows forward. Just curling up and back down again. Squeeze at the top, really get the blood moving into the hands. This is one of the exercises that wearing gloves makes a lot more sense, because the band obviously gets quite thin, wants to cut into your hands a little bit. Good. Okay, so that's the first way of doing biceps. Another way to do it, I'm going to use a slightly heavier band, because we're now going to use one strand of it effectively rather than doubling it up. So feet in both parts. Sorry, it's a black one and I'm on a black floor and I'm wearing black, which probably doesn't help too much. So we're just going to curl up, except this time I do it more as a hammer curl. So your hands are facing each other. So imagine if you're holding a dumbbell now, you'd be doing a hammer curl. You hold onto the band on either side and then curl up and back down again. Again, keeping the biceps, squeezing the biceps, I should say, at the top as you come up, making sure that you get nice lot of blood pumped into them, and also keeping the elbows tucked in to your hips as before. Okay, so that's the second version of the biceps. There is another way as well. I won't bother to show you tonight. I'll just quickly say, basically you can attach the band to a bar, and then you can have the elbows out in front of you, and then you would do the curl that way. And that works a slightly different muscle within the bicep. There are 3 muscle heads in the bicep, and this works kind of the internal muscle. It's equivalent to a preacher curl, if you've ever heard of that. So you see guys sitting in a gym, they'll have their arms on like a platform, and then they'll be curling up like that with a bar or dumbbells. And that's a preacher curl. Okay, so the next one is a tricep extension. Very simple exercise. Again, you can mimic this with dumbbells or a plate or even a machine. Okay, so we're going to make one foot in the band, step through the triangle we've just made, pull the band up over our heads, show you from the side. What I want you to do is kind of step forward and then lean back. What I don't want you to do is have your feet together and then arch your back, because that's not so good. So we're going to have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and then we're just going to push up, keeping the elbows as tight to your ears as you can, as close to your head, I should say. Keeping the hands together, driving up together at the same time, just helps control the band as well. Good stuff. Okay, again, play around with this one. You'll probably find that your triceps are stronger than your biceps. So I tend to go on a slightly heavier band when I do triceps. Okay, so that's the end of arms, and obviously that little bit on the back. So now we're going to move down to the legs, and we're going to start off with squats. Again, I'm going to use the black band. The simplest way to do this is literally squat down first of all, pull the band up over your head, and then stand up into that squat position. So I want you to again imagine that you're holding a barbell on your shoulders with weights on. So we're supporting it with our hands. So try not to be sort of close here or wherever. And it's behind the head. And then we want to squat down. Okay, so we're obviously pushing against the band as we stand up, which is mimicking holding weights. Just make sure you keep your weight into your hips. Keep pushing back into your heels. The danger with having the band on the back is it wants to pull you forward a little bit, so you have to kind of fight against that a little bit. I tend to just push back with my elbows and my arms so that the band isn't kind of pushing against me. Okay, so that's the squat. Good stuff. I'm going to have a little drink. Just getting a little bit dry. Good stuff. I hope you're getting some use from this. As always, it'd be fantastic if you could give the video a like, if you like it, obviously. Make sure you share it with your friends if you've got people that are interested in learning how to use resistance bands as well. And obviously, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel, because I quite often do these sessions, but do it as a live, obviously, and normally just race through a complete mad set of exercises, usually on a Sunday night and a Wednesday night. Tonight, just decided that tutorial was the best way to go. Okay, so we're going to do a normal deadlift. Again, normally I would use a heavier band, probably the green or the purple, but for the purposes of the instruction, I just wanted to show you proper form and technique. So we're going to double the band up, and we're going to get us hold on to both ends, obviously. And what I want you to think about is sitting down into a squat. Okay, so imagine we're going to go into a squat. We're going to straighten our back. We're going to really sit down into the position, pulling back with our shoulders, and nothing else is going to move really apart from our legs. So literally we're going to stand up, holding onto the band, straighten the body up, keeping the core nice and tight, and then back down. To secure the core, make sure it's nice and strong. Breathe in and hold. So, and then in again as you come down. Obviously, as you get a bit quicker, you can breathe in. Do the whole exercise, breathe out when you get back down. Okay, so up and back. Up. Please make sure that you sit down into it, into a squat. Please don't straighten the legs and then try and pull up, because you will do your back in. Okay, good. All right, so that's the normal deadlift. Next one is a Romanian deadlift. What we're going to do is double the band up again. We're going to hold on to the middle. We're going to put our feet in the two ends. Again, I'd probably go a little bit heavier than the black band with this one, but for the benefit of the exercise and showing you, and also for you to learn. So don't go rushing into picking the heaviest band and going, oh yeah, I can do this, because you will hurt yourself, okay? So grabbing the band, two hands, holding it up straight, and then what I want you to do is just come slowly forwards, keeping the legs tight and straight and leaning back into them. Okay, and then back up again. Okay, so you'll feel that now in your lower back and possibly into the back of your legs. Okay, it does feel quite easy. If it feels easy, slide your hands down the band a little bit towards your feet. Obviously, you're going to need to then get nearer to your feet. So we're going to make sure the back is flat. Don't hunch. Back flat, standing up straight into the legs, and then back down again. Okay, back up and down again. Good stuff. So that's the Romanian deadlift. Again, you would do this with a bar, or you could possibly do it with a kettlebell, or even dumbbells, something reasonably heavy. But I like doing them with the bands. I feel like I'm got a lot of control there, so it's quite a nice movement. Okay, so that's it. That's legs. Got one more exercise for you. We haven't really worked the chest yet. So typically what I like to do is push-ups for working the chest. Great exercise. It's a great compound exercise, obviously, because it works the back and the shoulders and the arms and everything else. To make it a little bit more difficult, we can add a band, okay? Now, for those of you that can't necessarily do push-ups that well, don't worry about this one. I mean, you could do it on the wall, or another exercise you can do, not really easy to demonstrate with this band because it's not the strongest of bands, but you can literally just push forwards with the band. Okay. Similarly, if you've got a hook, some of these packs with the bands, if you order it from Amazon, my link's below. What you can do is hook the band onto a door hook or something like that. Hold the band like that and then just push forwards and back. Forwards and back. Make sure you're squeezing the chest as you pull it round. And then obviously switch and do the other side. Okay, but the one I'm going to do tonight, I'm just literally going to do a push-up. We're going to put the band around our back. Hopefully you can see that. I just tuck it around my thumbs. And then we go down into push-up position. So you want the band to stay sort of below your shoulder blades. So it's kind of adding weight to your back effectively. And then we're just going to come down, push up. Okay. All right. That's good. If that's too much, I mean, if you could do normal push-ups quite easily, but then you add a band to it and it's too difficult, then that's fine. Just do one strand of the band to start with, and then hold that round behind you and do that. Okay? Good. All right, well, that's the end of the tutorial. Thank you very much for tuning in. Sorry it's a short one tonight. As I say, it's been a bit of a crazy day. I've had quite a mad sort of leg workout today as well with Hattie. We were doing some crazy things with these enormous bands. As I say, she's absolutely ruined already, as am I. It's been a hectic day. And yes, I just wanted to come on, say hi, as I promised. I always do Wednesdays and Sundays. And hopefully you got something from the tutorial. If you've got any questions, as always, please drop them in the comments. I always answer all the comments that people make. And again, like the video, hit the notifications. You'll get notified of any new videos that I'm bringing out. And yeah, hope you found it useful. I will look forward to seeing you again. We're back on Sunday, 7:45 p.m. UK time. So thanks very much. See you next time. All the best.